Um, all right, here we are. Taitiriya, or the Skatha, Krishna Yajurveda. These are the Shanti Pathas for different shakhas. So once we speak something, we discuss, and then you introduce the Shanti Patha, and it connects you to the whole Shakha tradition, yes, which is there for thousands of years. You are in tune with that text. And today, even I felt the shift away from where we are to where we have to be. There's a special space in the occult world for this kind of text. As you know, each Veda, each Samhita has a particular Shanti Patha. It's like an entry, like a claim or call for this text to come. So here we are. He explains again what is this inner being. And he continues, Ya pranena sambhavati aditih devatamai guham pravishya tishthantim yabhutebhih vyajayata etadvaitat. That is indeed that. So what is indeed that? This is Aditi, the mother of the gods, Devatamai, maid of the gods, literally, who was born through the prana and by the mingling of the elements had her being deep in the heart of the things she had entered. There she is seated. Now, this is Sri Aurobindo's translation of the beginning of the 19th century, 20th century. So let us go word by word. Ya pranena sambhavati, who by prana comes to being, so to say. Aditi devatamai, Aditi, maid of the gods, Guham pravishya, having entered into the cave of the heart, Tishthantim, her staying there, Yabhutebih vyajayata, who is born together with beings. It's a literal translation. So she is born together with beings. She entered into the cave of the heart. That means in the cave of the heart we have the psychic being, or the Angushta Matra Purusha. We will come to it in the next shlokas. So this is the Divine Mother who is seated in the heart of every being and is born together with them. This is something interesting, unexpected in a way. Why is she born with every being? So this is what we discussed in our course on Mahashaktis. There was a question why this mother is so important, yes? And why Sri Aurobindo says, having found her, find her, because finding her you find all. So why this all? Because she is not only seated in the heart, but she is also born in the body. She is both inner and outer together. She is everything, all. Yeah? If you find her, you find all.
So I have a question. So if she's the Divine Mother, the all-pervading, what does it mean that she's born? If she's the
Exactly.
unborn, yeah.
Yes, she is born together with beings. Beings are also her herself. Yeah? So she is not there only in the heart of the beings, but she is born, Yabhutebhih Vyajayata, who is born together with beings.
Isn't she the unborn?
She is, but she's also born together with beings. And this is the difficulty of understanding why Sri Aurobindo was putting everything on the mother. There is a very short film on the mother, which we created. Have you seen that film, by the way? 3 minutes. Who is the mother?
No,
no, that sounds good.
I made with someone from Auroville. just pictures of the mother and Sri Aurobindo's text. Wait a minute, I will find it.
Right. So she's one with everything. Yeah.
Anything's good.
Right. Got it.
Okay, here it is. Let me project it for you. Stop this and project this. Yeah, see, you see it, yeah?
Yes. Yes.
And you can hear it.
Who is the mother? Sri Aurobindo has declared, the one whom we adore as the mother is the divine conscious force that dominates all existence. One, and yet so many-sided, that to follow her movement is impossible, even for the quickest mind and for the freest and most vast intelligence. The mother is one, but manifests in the world through her many personalities. In the words of Sri Aurobindo, 4 great aspects of the mother, 4 of her leading powers and personalities have stood in front in her guidance of this universe and in her dealings with the terrestrial play. One is her personality of calm wideness and comprehending wisdom and tranquil benignity and inexhaustible compassion and sovereign and surpassing majesty and all-ruling greatness. Another embodies her power of splendid strength and irresistible passion, her warrior mood, her overwhelming will, her impetuous swiftness and world-shaking force. A third is vivid and sweet and wonderful, with a deep secret of beauty and harmony and fine rhythm. Her intricate and subtle opulence, her compelling attraction and captivating grace. The fourth is equipped with her close and profound capacity of intimate knowledge and careful flawless work and quiet and exact perfection in all things. Wisdom, strength, harmony, perfection. To the 4 we give the 4 great names: Maheshwari, Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati. To the disciples, Sri Aurobindo has said, the mother herself is the destination. Everything is in her. When you find her, you find all.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yes, when you find her, you find all. This is something which is kind of going beyond metaphysics. Yeah, so metaphysics cannot really cover that part. That she is all. Yeah, this is she is transcendental mother, and she is this, and that's why we have to find her, because then only that unity, that transcendental in this world can be one. Yeah.
Yeah. This is. Oh, I think you still have
No, go ahead.
echo.
Or echo. I don't know why echo is there.
Okay. That's it. I think the trouble I was having with the wording in that verse is something, I don't know if I can say this clearly. I'm just realizing a few weeks. I think maybe you have to yeah, okay. So my sense of my experience of the Divine Mother has always been of this, sort of shimmering, radiant consciousness that's everywhere. And I think I feel like it's a past life thing, but I'll leave that alone. I can tell the thing that I've always struggled with Tribbin on the Mother and the Integral Yoga is I'm so drawn to the Jnana, Ramana Maharshi simplicity of the self and the oneness. And yet I'm drawn in the heart, not in my mind, to the Mother. But when I hear, well, wait, the Mother is born, but the Mother's everything, transcended, everything, how can she? But then Jan just and you said, she's born with everything. Born and reborn, I see. Something in my mind always goes to the oneness, and then, the metaphysics, and gets confused. And then when you say, oh, she's everything, she's born and died, then it comes back. I go beyond metaphysics, go beyond my mind, and just go to the experience, the sense of her everywhere as everything born and dying, living, and whatever. Does this make any sense?
Yes, in a way, we have several kind of problems of this kind. We have Brahman, which is very difficult to explain, which is everywhere the same, transcendental in this world, and dynamic and static, and all this. These are words of the mind. Mind is operating, distinguishing, putting them in comparison,
Right.
Shading out all the meanings, and wants to capture them, to capture the meaning in his own way, how he can do it in time and space and causality. But there are certain realities which are going far beyond mental capacity to capture. One of these is Brahman, which is everywhere. Very difficult to explain the concept. You have to live it. You have to embody it, or to experience it, or to have a glimpse of it, or something. And then that glimpse will tell you that, oh, this is possible, and the mind cannot really handle it.
Right.
It can handle in parts. This part is handling of this part of Brahman, that part of Brahman, and if you put them together onto one plate here, they will be contradictory. The Sri Aurobindo speaks about this, yes. So the language of the Vedanta is so marvelous. He says they speak about the one non-existent alone is existing. Something like so it is without the second. It doesn't make any sense, but it makes no sense to the mind. But it is a reality. There is something underlining all, which makes all one. And there is a dynamic force which is acting on all the levels and can't be otherwise. Even logically, it is quite obvious that this world cannot be from elsewhere. It must be from the same source. Yeah.
Right.
This is the logic.
I find always in trying to convey something of Mother and Sri Aurobindo to the non-dualists, they'll get stuck in a mental concept. Well, it's one, it's pure awareness. How can it be many? How can it be evolution? And I'll say, I don't know. I can't tell you. Go into your heart and feel what's going on around you. I can't explain it to you. So what you're saying helps make more sense of it.
Yeah, even metaphysically, they will continue the same manner. Now let us see what they will say again here. So this is she pranena sambhavati. She becomes with prana. She comes to being with the life force, Aditi, who is made of all the devatas. All the devatas are her activities. Yes, we should remember that all the Adityas, and not only Adityas, all the Vasus, Vishvadevas, all the Rudras, all these classes of the gods, all the Ganas, which are known in the Veda, they are acting upon manifestation. They are making the world what it is. Yeah. And so and in that sense, she is constantly present through her activities, through her faculties, through her children, as it were. She's Devata Mayi. She is made of Devatas. She's constantly acting upon this universe and making it move or evolve or manifest something she wants to manifest of the Supreme. So, in a way, physical is included and cannot be excluded. That's what they did here. And she is born together with the beings born in the body. This is an important thing. So she is not something only transcendental, and these beings are something else, some Maya, some illusion, but she is also present with them, and it is her action. She is born with them, and she is within the heart, staying in the heart of every being. She is born with them, maybe born as in being in the heart. But let us see what is next. And by the way, being in the heart is an important thing. What you said, that I can explain, I can feel Mother in the heart. This is exactly what her location is, yes?
Right.
Her location is in the heart.
Right.
It's totally here. Guham pravishyate shtantim. So her staying in the heart, entering the heart. And somewhere Sri Aurobindo in his letter explains why they are both Mother and Sri Aurobindo in this yoga. Yeah, I've most probably already mentioned this.
Yeah.
Through Amritada, he says that he explains to one sadhaka who asks them, why two? Why not one teacher? Why two teachers? What is this two doing there? And he says, my influence is coming from above the head to the mind and vital as a spiritual presence, and Mother's from the heart over the vital and physical nature. And this is something interesting, because only the psychic has that capacity to bridge the physical, because it's a delegate of that spirit into this born state, into the state of the physical being. Yeah? And that's maybe why who is born together with beings, yeah? Because the presence in the heart, it has influence on the physical nature. Makes sense, no?
You know, somewhere Mother said, without him, I could not be. Without me, he could not manifest.
Yeah. Without him, I exist not. Without me,
Right.
he is unmanifest. Yes.
Right.
It's even somewhere, yeah. But this is the something else. Yeah. It's yes. Yeah. It is a plus to it. Yes, absolutely. But it is always something else, because Purusha Prakriti, that understanding. But here it is even more so. So to say, she being present in the heart is a psychic nature. And actually, the whole nature of Earth is of psychic quality or character. She speaks about this, the psychic presence in nature, she says. That psychic presence in greenery, in flowers, everywhere. The Earth is itself is a psychic being of the universe, yeah? And has that psychic presence, as she calls. And so for the being who wants to evolve and grow, it has to be born in the physical body on earth, because that is the provision of that psychic element.
Right.
Now, it's even more connection. Yeah, here, why it is she bhutebhi jayata. She's born together with all beings born. Because that is exactly where the shift of, or the change of consciousness is possible. The evolution of consciousness is possible only in the physical body. This is something which we do not know from any other tradition, only from integral yoga. If we don't have physical body, evolution is impossible. It's not enough to have vital, mental, whatever, supramental. There will be no evolution. There will be typal staying, waiting for some change. Change will not come. We will kind of execute, or we will we will only exhibit our nature or use our nature of that particular kind. That's why the gods and all these demons and so on, Gandharvas, Bhutas, all these beings are typal beings. They don't evolve. They are not evolutionary beings. That's what Sri Aurobindo says. Even these great gods, even the great gods, if they want to change and evolve, they have to be born on earth in the physical being. That means they have to take the human body. If some Rudra or Vishnu wants to change, he has to be born as avatar if he wants to evolve. And interestingly, that the gods, where gods should evolve, they're kind of in themselves already perfect beings, as it were, but they are not totally perfect, it seems. They have still a place or room for development. So in the Veda, it is said about them that they have, through the sacrifice, through the help of human beings coming to them and working through them. So the Yajamana, the soul of man, invokes these devatas and they come to him. And through that interaction with inborn, with born in the body beings, they can rise to the throne from which they will see both Aditi and Diti, the transcendental and this mother. So they will unite the mother into one mother. This is when she is found, all is found. So we have to rise to the status of the supramental vision, where both worlds, transcendental and this lower hemisphere, are one, are being generated. From that point of view, we can see both. And gods do not have that position, don't have that knowledge. They want it because they are uplifted to this supramental status. And only through the sacrifice, through the physical body, they can do that. And this is again one more element of this Devatama, she's made of the gods, and she brings them to action here in the physical nature, uplifting them, allowing them to grow. I'm speaking too much, I guess. Everything into one pot.
Fine.
Everything into one pot, into one basket.
Right.
We have the similar tendency here, yes, Don and me, to put
really?
everything into one.
I hadn't noticed.
No, I know. Just
Yes, no, it's
I
true.
always compare myself with you. We are similar. We want to give everything in the moment, to know
Right.
everything in the moment. And some people don't understand this. They want to go slow, you know. I have this always kind of discussion with Radha about. She was
Yes.
always stopping me. Don't say everything.
Yeah, Jan does the same thing. That's enough, Doug.
Right. Well, because all things are in one verse, they imply a lot. You see, this is the point what I wanted to make.
I do have a question then.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't know, the Sanskrit and all that, so I may be off here, but it sounds to me, my understanding of Purusha Prakriti is it's really the relationship, it's a separate relationship to the lower nature. It sounds like that comment to the mothers is really the Ishvara Shakti relationship. And this may be too mental, but I just was wondering if that makes sense.
Yes, Ishvara Shakti, absolutely. So, but if we have Purusha Prakriti, it doesn't mean that Ishvara Shakti is not there. We
Right.
just didn't discover it yet. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So, but once we discover it, it is there. It was there from the beginning.
Right.
So,
okay. Thank you.
right. All right. Okay. Next one. Aranyoh nihito jata veda garbha iva subhrito garbhini bhih. Dive dive idia jagrivad bhich, havishmad bhich, manushye bhich, agnich, etadvaitat. Now this is Agni, Vedic Agni, which is amazing representative of the Divine Mother in action anyway. As a woman carries with care the unborn child in her womb, so in the master of knowledge lodged in the tinders, these two pieces of wood which are making fire, and day by day should man worship him who live the waking life and stand before him with sacrifices, for he is that Agni. Let me translate in my way, literally. Aranyoch, between two arani. Aranis are two pieces of wood which by friction create fire. And these aranis are compared with heaven and earth, with mental and physical consciousness. They create the stirring where the life force starts to live. So Aranyoch Nihitach, established deeply within the Aranis. Jata Veda, the one, Jata Vedas is the epithet of Agni, who knows all beings born. It's interesting also. The beings have to be born in the physical body, and he knows them all because he is that force which makes that manifestation. Garbhaiva, as if the embryo or the son or the child, subhritach, perfectly carried by the pregnant women, garbhini bhich. So who are these garbhinis? They are like the mothers, yeah? By the mothers he is carried perfectly within. Dive dive idiach, and day by day he is worshipped, or he is to be worshipped, to be loved, or to be sought with adoration. Day by day he is to be sought with adoration, idiach. This is Sri Aurobindo's translation from other place. Jagrivadbhich, by those who are awakened. Havishmadbhich, by those who are offering, who bring the offering. Manushyebhich, man. Agnich, the fire. The fire should be worshipped or should be sought with adoration day by day by those who are awakened and bring the offering mental beings. So there is a flame within us. The divine will is flaming, and that is the child of the mother. And the mother is Aditi. All the mothers on this earth, they are her, and they carry that child, that fire within, which is to be born, sought with adoration. And that child, according to the Veda, first he is born as a child, then she comes to him as a dawn, and he approaches her as a beggar, and then he is rising high above, and she expands him wide. So he grows all over, and from his child, a prince, he becomes the king, and her husband, and her lord of the mother. So the child, her own child, becomes her lord. Yeah. And this is something which was totally misunderstood by Western Indologists. They kind of started to interpret it in the sexual sense, which has nothing to do with it. Yeah, it has exactly that the psyche grows and embrace the whole world, as Sri Aurobindo says, in spiritual transformation.
There's a wonderful phrase, I think it's Life Divine, where Sri Aurobindo describes karma as occurring through the rubbing of tinders. As he explains it, as in the course of the waking life, all the stresses and strains of attachments and aversion and desire and ego, that the Agni, the aspiration of the psychic being grows through countless lifetimes, through this rubbing of tinders, through this karmic action and reaction. And that if we understand this, we can make use of every moment, every stress, every strain to recognize that's what awakens the aspiration.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. They are also seen as two heaven and earth which are creating that friction or that pranic world in between, antariksha, which connects mental and physical being. This distinction between the unifying consciousness and diversifying is in between, connected in a very interesting one in many and many in one. Yeah, this power, this field which holds both. And within this one in many and many in one, all the creation is taking place. And the sacrifice. Sacrifice is within this, between these two aranis, as a friction. That friction is the sacrifice. And the Agni is the sacrificial energy which is making it possible. And that is the birth of Aditi.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah,
The way you described it sounds like when Sri Aurobindo in the Katha Upanishad commentary says everything begins with vibration. It gives me a feeling that there's this, what you describe now with heaven and earth, that there's this eternal, love between, these are just poetic, it doesn't make sense, but between the one and the many, and that vibration is this eternal rhythm of the mother ever present everywhere. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, totally. And this physical and mental consciousness is actually reconstituting that vibration, yes, by the means which are there. And so to say, we can even say that that vibration is prior to them doing it, that vibration. Yeah? They are forced to manifest the vibration because it is already there.
It seems like the way you're describing this is you're making use of the faculties of conscious in the way that you've been talking about. You're seeing and hearing this from the deepest, highest point of view, or aspiring to.
Right. Here, yes, the Purusha. Yeah, Purusha has faculties. Atman, yes.
Right. Yeah.
When we speak about faculties, yes, it's another language which adds to it. Yes, the dimension which we didn't even touch yet. But we are looking into the principle how consciousness with all the faculties together is being manifested. Yes. And it is that vibration which is causing the manifestation of these aranis to be reproduced here in terms of the divine will, fire, in the physical world. And he will say something here, you will see. Yataschodeti surya astam yatra cha gacchati tam devach sarve pihitach tad natyeti kaschana etadvaitat. He from whom the sun arises and to whom the sun returns, and in him are all the gods established, none passes beyond him. So from where the sun arises and where the sun sets, that the gods, all the gods, establish. So all the gods are established in that, or for that, or how to put him, or him are all the gods established, or him are all the gods established. Tadu nastyeti kashyana. That is indeed something which is not overpassed by nothing. None passes beyond him. This is close to the Brahman concept. Yeah? And then there will be something very, very dear to our heart, what we discussed already. Tad eveha tadamutra tad yadamutra tad anviha. Mrityoksach mrityum apnoti saiha. Naneva pashyati. So what is in this world is also in the other. This is something fundamental, actually. What is in this world, that is in the other, and what is in the other, that again is in this. Who thinks he sees difference here, from death to death he goes. Now this world, this is one world. There are no many worlds. Yeah? This physical world is nothing but manifestation of the spiritual world, and its own enterprise of the spirit. And physicality is a spiritual action. It's not its spirit itself. It's not something away from the spirit.
Right.
And that is the misunderstanding what Advaita brought in, which Sri Aurobindo was against. Yeah? That there is this world and then there is the spiritual world. This split on two, material and spiritual, Mother was always against. And she said it is a totally wrong notion, which creates this disability. Religion becomes disabled to change anything in this world, and the science also becomes incapable of knowing what it is.
And it gets worse, not just the split, but they deny matter even exists.
Right. And those others deny that spirit exists. So both deny. Yeah, the denial of the materialist and the denial of the ascetic. Of the Life Divine first chapters, which are actually profound. They give the whole vision of Sri Aurobindo, where he says that the denial of the materialist is more potent in knowledge than denial of the ascetics. Mm-hmm. He arrives at this meaning that actually materialism is better than spiritualism, because spiritualism kills that very birth in the body, that very nature of Aditi, of the Divine Mother, yeah, to be born in the body, in the psychic atmosphere, and being able to evolve. Even evolution disappears with this, yeah, in the Mayavada. Mayavada has no evolution. There's nothing evolving anywhere. Right. You have to return, drop off all that as a imprisonment, and go out of manifestation. This is the only way out. There is no evolution, because the denial of the birth in the psychic nature of the mother. The whole region of Svar disappears, the sun disappears, supermind disappears. They become irrelevant for this purpose.
Is Surya the sun? Surya?
Yes.
I just was checking for the last verse. Yeah, okay.
Sorry. Oh, you're already there in this. Oh, in this. Yeah.
In the previous, yeah. I just want to make sure I understood it. Krishna Prem, just one more thing. Krishna Prem has a wonderful, the entire essay on the Hermetic axiom, as above, so below, and he refers to this verse from the Katha Upanishad as indicating that whatever is in heaven is reflected in earth, and whatever in earth is reflected. That everything is all this wonderful, beautiful, rich. Celebration and mirroring, not a denial, but this, you can find everything. All of infinities can be found everywhere. It kind of goes into it that way.
Yeah. And also Christian mystics, Hermetism, Hermes Trismegistus, the major work it starts with this. That which is above is identical to what is below, and what is below is identical to what is this? Because the world is one, and at the same time we operate in our mind in such a way that we need this split. We need to see the subtlety and the grossness. We see all the shades, and because it is spelled out in time and space, we operate with this focusing the consciousness by the mind on a particular event. And because of that kind of capacity of the mind, or incapacity of the mind to see the whole, we have to speak in this language. Otherwise, we don't need even to say anything. The world is one, but what do we mean by that?
Right.
And then, Manasai Vedam Aptavyam Nehananasti Kimchana Mrityoh Samrityum Gachati Ya Ihananeva Pashyati. It repeats itself. Through the mind must we understand that there is nothing in this world that really varies. So you see, it repeats our own thought. So our mind does not allow us to do this, but we have to transform our mind to the extent that it would see all the structures of consciousness, let us say. Yeah?
Mm,
The magic structure of oneness, the
right.
mythical structure of our spiritual origin, and that this world is not really our world, we come from elsewhere, and at the same time to see us as objective beings existing here in the material form simultaneously. Can our mind handle this? Yeah, this is the question. Usually it can't. It denies immediately the spirit, the spiritual origin, the oneness of the world. More or less it can accept it because it's closer to its own nature. And if all these structures are efficiently acting within our consciousness, Gebser calls it integral, and the integral structure, where all the structures are efficiently contributing to the knowledge of ourselves and the world.
Or the mind says, oh, this is all mentalizing. This is analysis by paralysis. Just feel the mother. That's all you have to do.
Oh well, that's the mythical, yes, which
Right.
is important, yes, which is a part of the deal. But yes, and if it is missing, then of course, then we fall into mental structure. We start criticizing, but we can't do simultaneously everything at the same time. For me to develop the integral structure, I need to take, one bit at a time. So if I'm analyzing mentally, it doesn't mean that I will not accept the mother, to feel the mother, and it
Right.
doesn't mean that I will not accept everything as a one world and Brahman. It
Right.
doesn't mean that, but I cannot do it simultaneously. I need to go step by step. And while I'm doing that, I hear the argument.
Right. Right. Yes.
Or anybody else for that matter, unless I would deny immediately, say, no, mother's feeling is wrong. That means that I am narrowing myself to one particular structure.
Yes.
But if I accept all of them and see how they contribute to this development of this consciousness, holistic consciousness, which sees all the details and does not deny anything, finds the right place and time for everything, this is the consciousness we need to have.
That's good. That's a good reminder. Thank you.
No, that's just why we are always falling into this trap because of time and space. Yeah, we can't really develop the thought, and we need to develop. Look how Sri Aurobindo developed his thought in the Life Divine, or Synthesis, or even Savitri. He goes step by step. He takes all the arguments of the opposite view, and he totally exhausts them until you think, wow, he thinks like this. But you don't see that he is actually developing the point which he wants to argue with.
There was a section of the Life Divine where he denies evolution, and I got caught in a couple of months long argument where this person was convinced, so that's what Sri Aurobindo really thinks. All the rest of it was, this is what he really, I gave up.
He misread somewhere at the beginning one small twist where Sri Aurobindo put it into the intuitive kind of argumental state.
Right.
I missed this few times like this also. I am reading, he's telling all this, I kind of can't believe it. It sounds totally, but it is not him. And then I
Right.
come back to the beginning of the text and I see that small shift, which tells me that now he will be taking this position.
Right.
And the same with the debate of love and death. If you read the death arguments, they are absolutely marvelous. Philosophies, Advaita, you would actually agree with everything death says. And then suddenly new argument, much higher, much deeper. And it is not on the ground of the mind. And still, it is not contradictory to logic. It's amazing.
Right.
For example, one of these arguments, I can't forget, where the Lord of Death says that all this world, you really think that this is the world where the God is to be? And you also imagine that God will sit with you and drink tea or something like this?
Right.
So you will have a leisure time with the divine here? Yeah? Look at this world. And he gives the description. What is this world? And she says, yes, you're right. But yes, this is the child. The human being is still a child. But does it mean the child will never grow? And this is the argument. Does it mean the child will never grow and the world will never change? That you describe something which is forever the same and will stay the same? No, it doesn't mean that. There is a hidden plan of development which the Lord of Death does not relate to. Yeah? I even wrote somewhere an article what the Lord of Death did not know. For example, he didn't know that he was not the creator. He thought he was given all the rights to do things. Yeah?
Right.
And that he didn't know about the hidden plan, that he was used only as the means to the ends he is not embodying. This is a big, big disaster for him.
Wonderful.
All right. Okay, maybe we can stop here. We kind of enjoyed ourselves here a little bit. This is a joyful literature. I would swim in this ocean forever. By the way, today or yesterday, I was thinking suddenly for the first time that I came to this literature because I was looking for knowledge. I didn't come to this literature to know Sanskrit or to, as usually people do, to become professor of some, Indian philosophy and know everything, how things are, and quote everyone. I was looking for my own knowledge. So, and in that sense, these texts are kind of, they have it. They have that knowledge.
Yeah.
They can give us it. We can discover it in the text with the help of Sri Aurobindo.
Right.
And I'm very grateful that
I'm glad you're right. I have an experiment to suggest.
Yeah.
When you hear sounds at night, if you can find the part of the mind that defines them, as a cricket or whatever, or, and let go of it. Yeah, a heartbeat. See what happens.
Say it again. What with the heartbeat? I
Say
didn't
you're
get
hearing
it.
the heartbeat or snoring or sounds, and you can, if you get very quiet, you can notice there's a part of the mind that's defining them, that's labeling them. Heartbeat, whatever. It's not verbal. It's a very subtle, subconscious part of the mind. If you can let go of that, it all merges and helps you become very sleepy. Something to play with.
Right. I know what you mean very well because I tried everything already,
Oh, okay.
back and forth. But yes, you're right, absolutely. This is something where, especially if mind is becoming active with this, you can't sleep at all. Preoccupied with the heartbeat. And I hear that my heartbeat is very fast in the night. Something strange. It should be slow, and I'm slowing it down with the breath. It's I'm doing it. I can hear how it slows down. It's like tutuk, 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 very fast, and then I start breathing differently, and then it tutuk, tutuk. It becomes immediately slower, slow down the. So because maybe I think that too fast heartbeat also wakes me up or something. Too much energy somewhere, or something is wrong with the physical somewhere. The physical is struggling to cover something up. Mm.
Anyway, just a thought.
Thank you so much.
Om Shanti 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 Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha Hari Om. Hari Om. See you then.